Sad boys, sad boys, sad boys, sad boys,
From East Tennessee, this is the Sad Boys Podcast. And now, here's your hosts, Gabe and Parker.
Here's what I'm saying, Parker. If I was a girl for a day,
If I were a boy.
you would want to have sex with me.
No way, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
No way, bro.
100% you would. Yeah, absolutely.
No way.
I will die on this hill.
There's no way to ever figure that out.
Maybe there will be a day when you can get a day as the opposite.
What if but opposite?
What if but opposite?
What if our days happen at the same time, and you're like, I'm gonna go catch Parker's dick, and I was actually a girl at the same time, and you're like, this cost me $1 million. I'm assuming that it's a lot of money to like go opposite for a day. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I don't think
that's all I'm saying is if I could be a girl for a day, that's the one thing I would want to know what it's like.
To just throw yourself around?
You're not interested at all to know what it is like to have sex as the opposite sex.
Well, I'm interested what having sex as this sex is like. So, I mean, you know, I'll cross that bridge and then we'll have this conversation again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, just keep listening to the podcast and eventually you'll know what Parker thinks. Welcome to the Sad Boys Podcast, the podcast by Gabe and Parker.
The podcast by Parker and Gabe.
And that was our best intro yet.
I truly believe it. Now, you don't know what I'm kind of sad about?
What's that?
Lately, you haven't done the Parker.
I know, I was thinking about that recently.
And it's okay, because we've evolved.
Mm-hmm. Things change.
But
and here's the thing. When things change, you got to know how to let the old out so that the new can come in.
That new. That's actually what I call my grandmother.
Is it really?
No, I call her Nani.
Nani.
But,
Nani!
But, new would be funny.
New.
I actually want my kids to call my mom and dad. I want one to be Beep Bop.
Oh my god. We've had...
and the other Bopey.
Bopey?
Yeah.
What the fuck is a Bopey?
I don't know. Beep Bop and Bopey. I don't know what...
Who?
I don't know. I'll let the kids decide.
What do you call your grandparents? We were talking about this at work the other day.
Okay, so one of my grandpas is just Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, but every single of the other, like all the other ones are, well, and my great grandma's grandma.
Okay.
Sometimes when she's feeling a little angry, we call her Granny Grunt.
Grunt.
She is turning 99 this year.
Wow.
Yeah. And so sometimes we call her Granny. Yeah. And Grandma on my mom's side, we call her Meemaw.
Mm-hmm.
And then Meemaw and Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
On my dad's side, it's Nani and Paw.
Okay.
Because they wanted to be Nana and Papa, but I couldn't say it.
Okay.
And so now all the other grandkids that's what
stuck.
Addie and I, called them, and so now they're Nani and Paw.
My dad's side is Nanny and Pops. Used to be Paw.
Mm-hmm.
But Pops is just, it's cooler now.
Yeah.
And then on my mom's side,
like you said, we let the old out in with the new.
Mm-hmm. And then on my mom's side, it is Papa Joe and Gigi.
Papa Joe and Gigi. That sounds like a great Italian restaurant.
It would be, yeah, you're right.
Papa Joe and Gigi's.
Yep.
Come in for unlimited breadsticks.
Taking out the OG.
Yeah.
God, I love the OG. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the OG? A lot of people hate it.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Olive Garden?
Oh, I thought, isn't there a show called The OG?
The OC.
No, so that's what I was thinking of. That makes me look like an idiot. That's what I was thinking of. I love Olive Garden. It's... Ooh. That tour of Italy, that's the meal, baby. That's the move.
Get something seafood.
I hate seafood.
You know I love shrimp.
You know I hate seafood, though.
I know.
It's the
But if
worst.
I've got a shrimp option, that's my option.
You know what makes me sad? Sometimes I'll get something at a buffet, which I don't like to admit how many buffets I'm in.
I love buffets. Golden Corral, sign me up.
But it's like a pasta, and then it's like shrimp scampi. It's like mixed in there. I don't like that because it throws me off. I don't read the descriptions. I go by sight.
I think that's on you.
Yep. I will admit that is my fault. But I'll just take a big old bite, and I'm like, this is the cockroach of the sea. That's what I'm eating. This is the seafood.
But it's tasty.
And crabs are
delicious.
Crabs are like rats of the sea, and lobsters are like chihuahuas of the sea. I mean, wiener dogs of the sea, because they're long. They're the armadillos of the sea.
I don't think they ball up.
Well, they look like they could ball up.
They do look... Okay, I'll give that to you. I'll give it to you.
They look... I know that they look like they can post up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. They look like they just got out of jail.
Lobsters are mean motherfuckers, man.
And
they got those pincers. Yeah. It's not a fun day when you... One time I won a bet at Lobster Tail. What is that restaurant? Red Lobster.
Red Lobster? At Lobster Tail?
I couldn't remember what it was. And there's a tank, and the tank was open. Somebody's like, I'll give you $20 if you touch one. And I went, boop. And I touched one, and he was just like, fuck. And he just, like I
dumb.
wasn't going to do it. Like, $20 if you picked it up. Now that I would be a little scared, because I didn't know.
But would you do it?
I think I would do it. I just wouldn't want to get kicked out.
Okay, I get you.
You know. But, anywho. What are we talking about today?
And this is fun for me. Like, we've always talked about doing stuff like this.
Ooh, yeah.
But now we're finally doing it. We're talking about some film shit. We're talking about, to be more specific, the film industry. Because recently, both of us have started working within the industry, which, if you followed us at all, you know that is big dream.
The goal.
That is what we want with our lives.
And that's how I want to put that bread on the table, baby.
So now we're getting this bread. You're
making way more bread than me.
Well, I'm just working more consistently because I'm just actually.
Well, we're just talking. If we're talking financially, but anywho, let's just say what we're doing. You got it.
So
you go
recently, I've moved. As I think we talked about last month was I moved back into Knoxville. I think when we last talked about it, I was still waiting to hear back.
Yeah.
And so now I just started a production company at the beginning of January. So I've been there for a little over, as of recording, I've been there for a little over a month. And my big thing is editing, as I've said many times. And I am now on the path to becoming an editor.
You're going for union too, right?
Yeah, eventually. I am the step before assistant editor. So like I've got a ways to go. I've got to do my time before I can get
did
there.
That time and spent that bread.
But I ain't trying to spend bread.
She needed daddy.
I'm trying to say that bread.
Baby, please.
I can't let her go to that ghetto university.
Some of the lights.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's super cool. It's the big thing that is so relieving to me is that I'm just finally in the industry.
Oh yeah.
You know, because I've worked so many just like dumbass jobs.
Domino's.
Freaking Domino's.
Lupus.
I was at a hotel for a bit.
You slang a lot of dough.
I did sling a lot of dough. I made a lot of pizza.
And now a lot of dough is being slung at you.
You goddamn right. But it's just so refreshing to like finally be doing something that I care about.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like with other jobs, it's very easy to kind of get stuck in that and just be like, you know, this is paying the bills, but this is not what I want to be doing. And it really is kind of crazy to now be like, this is what I want to be doing. So it's like it's not hard to do.
Yeah,
that.
it's like, yeah.
You know, because I know a lot of times with like other jobs, it's like I've gotten very burnt out, and you it's those days where you're going to work and you're like, fuck, I just really do not want to do this. Yeah, like, I would like to do anything else other than go to work, but like that hasn't happened for me, And that's super nice because that's like a very stressful place to be for me at least. Is like dreading going to work because it's a large portion of
your time.
Yeah, of my time. And so I don't know. It's very nice, and we'll really jump into it. But go ahead and give us your piece.
For me, now this Gabe definitely. What do we call this? Foot in the door.
Yeah,
Gabe definitely has his foot in the door more. He has like gotten some consistent work. But I did recently. I got an opportunity to go down and be a production assistant on a TV pilot, filming in Atlanta, and it was, dude, it was forking awesome. So that's all I'm going to say, because that's really the only preface I can until we get into kind of like what we're doing, because that's kind of it. I just finally got an opportunity to be on set, and it was incredible.
I think the interesting part of this conversation and like what I'm super excited for is like, because it is so like it's two very different sides of the same coin, in that like you've always been super pre and production. Like that's always what you've wanted. And I like being on sets and I like doing stuff, but that's never been like my dream and what I wanted to do, because I've very minded in a way that like post-production is for me. Like that's the way my mind works, and that's like what I'm good at. So it's so, and you know, we've got other friends who are doing very different things than we are too, but still in the industry, and it's like it's just kind of cool to see how everyone is kind of going about getting to what they want to do. Yeah. And it's just exciting that has options. Like, we have those options available, because I feel like a lot of careers and, like, industries and stuff have a very, like, this is how you do things. And with film, it's like every person's experience is different, no matter what. Yeah, for sure. For me, mine was just Facebook. I'm in a film community group for Atlanta, and my mom lives like 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, so I was like, I'm just gonna go home for the weekend and do this, and it was awesome. Yeah, I sent the director producer my resume, and it was awesome. So it was just like an open invitation kind of thing on that board. Yeah, they were like, we need a volunteer PA, and this is the call times, if you can be there. And so I just rocked it for like 3 days, and it was incredible. It was so weird, man, because like I will say the last day wasn't a 12-hour day, but it was 2 like 12 13-hour days back to back, and I was not, I mean, I was tired, but like it was like I didn't care. Yeah, it was so weird. It was like you're talking about, just like you get to do when you're doing the work that you want to do. Like, it's not work. Yeah. And it wasn't work. Because I was doing coffee and shit too. I mean, and that's how you have to start. But, like, at the same time, like, I was like, they let me call a couple scenes. Because I was like, how the umbrella of the on-set, and I know you know this, but if any of our listeners don't, the on-set kind of flow instructor, like, structure of the order of things. It's like you've got your director of photography, who's in charge of like grips and gaffers and how they're setting up the lights and electric and setting up the shot the way that he wants it, that he and the director have communicated. So you've got the director and then the producer, and the producer doesn't really do much on set. They can. There are a lot of pre-stuff. Yeah. But the director and the director of photography, and they have control of grips and gaffers, and then you have the AD, the assistant director, and those guys are in charge of the PAs. So, but at the same time, everybody's your boss. Somebody needs something. Yeah, you're that person that does it. And it was really cool because I got to do a lot of like grip and electric. I got to like set up a lot of stands. I know that's, it's a given, but I was setting up a lot of C stands and grabbing sandbags, and that was cool. I took out a lot of trash. Like, that's, to be expected. But it's like, it's all that stuff. It's the little tiny things that like make something big and cool. And I wasn't the director, and I wasn't, I didn't write the screenplay, which it's really funny, and I really hope it gets picked up for them, because they're really kind. But it's like me taking out the trash, make sure that they're able to focus on this creative story that they've told, and it's just super fucking awesome. And the one thing that made me really happy, not to humble brag, but I'm gonna humble brag, I was a volunteer PA. And I will say, with the dynamic of the set, like,
and remind me to tell a funny story later. But the dynamic of the set is it's pretty balls to the wall the whole time.